1:44 on the clock, just as I come to think that I want to do a video. I'm just checking I don't have broccoli in my teeth because I just had a little soup. Obviously, infamous dressing gown is in shock because this is from the UK, Inglaterra. Really just about intimacy. Knowing that it's not just something that we share with like our sensual sexual partner, but all these beautiful ways that we share intimacy with family and friends and closeness, and a photo that you take together or a memory that you create and that is brought up, and that someone's the way they like cup of tea, or the way they do their hair, or the way they want to start the day, or if there's phone calls that you like to make, and just people just making the effort 101 on the clock. Because when you're in conscious relationships, conscious partnerships, that mirror, that when I say 0101, it's like that mirroring. I'd literally just see two butterflies skirting out. It's this dance, and it isn't about right and wrong, it's about alignment, and someone else's truth is not going to be my truth, but I trust that in our hearts, like where we meet in the middle, is not in stubbornness and not in any of the lower densities, the lower vibrations of pain, because we just keep ourselves stuck there. Like, intimacy is also being vulnerable and sharing our feelings openly and calmly and softly, because why would we want to hurt someone else because we're hurting? And I know hurt people, but when we're continually in that trap, and you have to hear people keep going round and round and round in circles where they continue to hold themselves in suffering and pain, that's the choice. And every day we have a choice to make a step towards something different. And I can hear someone laughing, or thinking it's preachy and stuff, but like all the cliche stuff that people have said in the past, it's like, it just takes one step every day, one thing. It really does. There's a level of programming. If we know that our default is of a lower density, if we're naturally prone to depression, and I'm not saying I am, but some people are, if you're naturally prone to overwhelm as a sensitive, we need to create a life around us that's not going to be devoid of those things, because we have to interact with humans unless we hermit all the time, which is not my life path, but has been in other lifetimes, so I do know that life, and it is intense, but it's not for everybody. But we have to interact with other people. So if we know that we are not good in winter, then we will seek sun. And if we know that we are not good with crowds, we're not going to go to a stadium. And so in terms of if we're naturally explosive people, then we are going to take time to digest an uncomfortable topic or situation and seek distance from it to come back to zero. Intimacy is such a deep form of healing, that whether it's a cuddle or a touch, or just an acknowledgement and saying, I can't do this right now. My brain is just so, there's so much going on in the collective right now, 339. Some people won't be able to have a calm mind to think through things and look at the bigger picture. It's very much, and I don't mean don't be present, but I mean the niggles and the struggles and the shit that happens now, something good will come from it because of divine balance. We first have to acknowledge how our energy is being input into any situation, because actions have consequences. And we can't escape that. Karma already starts, and it's really important that we're mindful about how we treat people right now and how we act behind closed doors, and where our true value system sits, because we will be tested now. And if family doesn't mean anything to us, or friends, or love, or doesn't mean, then it's going to be a really sad, lonely life of consequences to actions. Whereas if we choose 441 on the clock, if we choose forgiveness and we choose to heal our ego, because ego is not a bad thing, it's our protection. But obviously if you build up wounding over the years, the ego can be big, it can be enlarged, it's like this protective barrier. If we don't address the ego, then we can't first identify like what intimacy is and like all of our different needs and how we need a whole host of different things and how somebody else needs a whole host of things, and that, you know, we've all got moved through our own sort of trauma and stuff, and that doesn't define us, and it can't keep being the place that people talk about all the time, because obviously that is a wounding, and we need to be able to let go and lean into these moments of intimacy, because I think that was a gurgle, because we need to get through uncomfortable and awkward moments so that we can get a cuddle, so that we can, you know, have eye to eye contact and create and nurture conscious relationships, which are not easy. I've said this before, love is 6 on the clock, which is love. Like, love is not easy, but life is not easy. So if we keep picking like easy options, we miss out, because other people that have chosen the path of love have chosen the higher ground, not above or below, but to focus on what truly matters, to have the real priorities, not concerned as what I look like to other people, my money and what I spend it on, and how I come across, and having it all together. No, we're human. We've all got issues. We move through our healing. We overcome the bigger traumas. They don't define us, and we constantly come back to love. We come back to breath. We come back to meditation. And if people are still at the point where we're not meditating, we're missing out. Like, we're not being present. There's too much work. There's so much going on, and sensitivities and psychic and intuitive gifts are being awakened right now. And if people don't know that's happening, and there are things in their life are like massive fatigue or this is like collective right now. I'm worn out and I haven't even done anything physical today. So, like, you know, this is when we know we're tapped into a collective. We're not just here on the planet as one person, one consciousness. So, 727, until we sort of address those, then we're just pushing people and moments and intimacy away, and that's really the biggest healer. So I wish love and peace and healing to everyone, and I trust that in time we'll all see the fruits of our labour. And a labour of love is, if we're working hard to stay in pain and not forgive, then the fruits of that hard work will come in a different form, unfortunately, of a lower density. But if the fruits of our labour have been intentional love and ignoring naysayers and negative people, and that have not believed in us and told us, oh, you can't do that and you can't do this, then the labours and fruits of that hard work will be of a love vibration, an abundance mentality. So trust the timing, takes patience. It's a big life lesson for me. And let's love the inner child inside. 828.